A Warren County jury took 6 hours to decide that 19-year-old Austin Myers deserves to die for murdering Justin Back.
Justin's family doesn't have the opportunity to have a phone call or a letter. Nothing will bring Justin home.
We've learned where investigators found the body, and police gave insight into how they made the arrest so fast.
Defense attorneys say they do plan to appeal the death penalty sentence, which often comes with a lengthy and complicated process.
It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's gonna hurt more innocent people.
Background. In 7th and 8th grade, Myers and Back were childhood friends who had gone to the same middle school. Back in 2013, alumnus of Waynesville High School was set to enlist in the Navy just prior to his ending. Myers had asked Mosley if he wanted to make some money. According to Mosley's account, Mosley showed interest, and the two talked about whether or not to rob Back's stepfather, Mark Cates, or a drug dealer. Myers was aware that Cates had left an arm and a safe in the family home. Myers thought Cates had $20,000 total stashed away in his safe. The two intended to break into Back's safe when they drove to his Waynesville house, but they changed their minds when they saw Back was home. After leaving, the two talked about how they would get the money. It is said that Myers had the notion to slay Back. In the end, Myers made the decision to use a wire to strangle Back, and he then proclaimed that he and Mosley might take the safe, intended to make it appear as though Back had taken it and fled their house. Myers purchased 2 metal rope cleats and a steel cable measuring 3 feet in length. It was his intention to make a garrote, or choke wire as Mosley called it. They decided to end the slaying the next day and put the garrote together. Slaying. Myers and Mosley bought rubber gloves, ammonia, septic tank cleaning, and septic enzymes early on January 28, 2014. They left and got at Back's house around 1 p.m. The idea was for Myers to divert Back's attention while Mosley used the garrote to choke him. Mosley equipped himself with a 6-inch pocket knife in addition to the garrote. When Myers knocked on the family's door, Back opened it and allowed the 2 of them in. After the 3 guys had finished their conversation, Back headed to the kitchen. Recognizing his chance, Myers held Back from the front as Mosley attacked Back from behind and tried to choke him.
Justin was trying to ask us why. He was pleading to stop.
We've learned where investigators found the body, and police gave insight into how they made the arrest so fast.
We were at the house. When Austin used the restroom, he said that he saw the safe and that he saw that it was indeed cracked.
I do know that Justin was set to go to the military sometime next month.
A jury recommends execution for the Wayne Township teenager convicted of killing his friend.
The 3 guys struggled as Back pushed back against them, and eventually they all fell to the kitchen floor. Myers informed Mosley that Back's chin was covered by wire rather than his neck. Then, in panic, Mosley took out his dagger and gave Back a backstab. Then, as Mosley knifed Back in the chest, Myers wrapped the garrote around his throat, slaying him. 21 wounds totaled to the back. Mosley and Myers discovered the safe in a closet after Back's demise. Nevertheless, the safe was locked. In addition, Myers discovered a loaded firearm in Kate's house. The 2 went back to the kitchen and tried using ammonia to clean up the crime scene. Back's body was covered with a blanket and placed into Mosley's car trunk. After that, they looted the house and stole credit cards, jewelry, and the safe. Myers also packed some of Back's clothes into separate bags. At about 2 p.m., they packed everything into Mosley's car and drove away from the residence. Aftermath. Fearing he was being followed, Mosley drove on side roads to a secluded spot, parked, and looked for blood outside the vehicle. Myers looked around in one of the bags and found Back's wallet. Myers stole the wallet, which included more than $100. After that, the 2 returned to Mosley's home and unloaded the car's contents into Mosley's bedroom. They changed clothes and hauled the safe upstairs together. Mosley, who was familiar with the area, suggested disposing of the body close to West Alexandria. They made the decision to conceal the body in a field close to the Preble County settlement of Gratis behind the log. Mosley stopped about 20 feet from the log when he drove into the area. After carrying the body to the log, the two placed it on the earth. The deceased, still wearing clothes and partially covered by the blanket, was then doused with ammonia and septic enzymes by Myers. Mosley claimed that Myers intended to shoot the body, so he took the car's stolen gun and gave it to Myers, who then shot back twice in the body. After Myers unclogged the obstruction, the bullet was ejected to the ground and discovered by the authorities. Myers proposed that they slaying Cates to make it appear as though he had slain Back and vanished after they had hidden the body. Having made up their minds not to, the men drove to a Brookville park where Mosley threw Back's laptop into the garbage. After purchasing a crowbar in Englewood, they returned to Mosley's residence in order to break open the safe. The safe held loose change, ammunition, gun accessories, documents, and other odd objects instead of the $20,000 that Myers had promised. Items that Myers and Mosley believed they could sell were divided. They then set fire to the papers, their bloodied garments, and many garbage bags that held proof of the crime in the backyard fire pit. Myers and Mosley packed everything from the house and the safe that appeared valuable into a bag. After that, they took a car to Tip City and dumped Cates' safe into a river there. Investigation. Around 3:30 p.m., Cates noticed that some rugs were missing and a table had been removed when she got home from work. Afterwards, he discovered that his weapon and safe were gone. Back's cell phone was found inside the residence when they attempted to reach him after calling the police. Officers mentioned an automobile they had spotted outside Back's house throughout the inquiry. It had a noticeable missing rear window that was covered in red tape and plastic. Cates reported to the police that Myers had driven by their house the previous day. Detectives from the Warren County Sheriff's Office looked for Myers and the strange car. After Clayton police recovered the automobile, they arrested Myers at Mosley's residence and alerted the Warren County investigators. On January 29th, Myers was questioned by detectives at the Clayton police station. Myers insisted that he had no knowledge of Back's disappearance or the break-in at Back's residence. Following the interview, Mosley was brought to the station to be questioned, while Myers was brought back to his home. After Mosley and the detectives had concluded their conversation, Mosley was taken back to his home. The investigators had Clayton police officers detain Mosley and Myers and bring them back to the station after learning what they did. The detectives spoke with Mosley and Myers once again. Eventually, Myers acknowledged that he had witnessed Mosley knife Back. He claimed that he had no idea Mosley was going to slay Back and had no idea why Mosley had slayed Back when he had gone to hang out with Back on January 28th.
The Warren County jury took 6 hours to decide that 19-year-old Austin Myers deserves to die for murdering Justin Back.
Defense attorneys say they do plan to appeal the death penalty sentence, which often comes with a lengthy and complicated process.
We will be asking for death for this individual.
Death penalty, but he will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Justin's family doesn't have the opportunity to have a phone call or a letter. Nothing will bring Justin home.
Myers insisted that Mosley had shot Back's body, denying any involvement in the incident. Mosley overheard Myers accusing him alone of the slaying in adjoining holding cells. Mosley admitted to the crime when questioned by the cops, but he also accused Myers of organizing the break-in. After Mosley confessed, the investigators spoke with Myers once more, and this time, he gave a different account. This time, he acknowledged purchasing the supplies to build the garage, along with gloves and septic tank enzymes, and admitting to shooting the victim in a naive attempt at deception. He insisted that he was only hit at the moment and was shocked to see so much blood, arguing he was not even aware he was being knifed. He persisted in his denial that he had restrained Back throughout the slaying. Back's body was discovered by Preble County Sheriff's deputies on the same day, after receiving rough directions from Myers. Back died from several knife wounds, according to an autopsy performed by a Montgomery County coroner. Trail. Because of the plea agreement that gave Mosley, the man who slayed Back with a knife, a life sentence without the possibility of parole, and Myers' ending sentence, the case gained media attention. At the time, Myers was the youngest prisoner in Ohio on the ending row. Proposed amendments to Ohio state law, known as Justin's Law in honor of Back, increased the severity of the ending penalty. October 17, 2014, saw Myers given an ending sentence at the age of 19. He is being held at Chillicothe Correctional Institution and is presently on an ending row, awaiting slaying.
It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's gonna hurt more innocent people.
First time the jury heard from Austin Myers himself. He spoke to them for about 3 minutes, occasionally looking down at his notes.
At 19 years old, Austin Myers would become the youngest death row inmate in the state of Ohio.
On November 14, 2014, Mosley was given a life sentence. Bronze Correctional Institution is where he is incarcerated. The two jails are located in the same town, Chillicothe, across the street from one another. Myers is the second youngest of 140 Ohio prisoners facing the ending penalty. Damonte Graham, 20, convicted of slaying a Kent State University student, is the only one younger. The court gave Myers a 2022 slaying date, but Myers' attorneys now have the option of appealing the high court's decision at the federal level. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.